Welcome to Monday, Terry. How you feeling today, my friend?
Feeling really good, really good. Yeah,
Yeah,
had a good weekend.
A little bit of time off. We're gonna have a
Yep.
little bit of time off this weekend too, starting on Thursday because it's Thanksgiving, Terry. So
That's right.
let me ask you. I don't know. Maybe we should do this on Wednesday. Yeah, we'll do it on Wednesday. I'll give you some time to think about it. Some horse racing things that you're thankful for in 2021. But we'll talk about that on Wednesday. So mark that down. That'll be what we discussed at the beginning of the show, not at the end of the show. Terry and I are going to introduce something new today. Instead of the 3P parlay, we decided to go with just the ice cold Superfecta for a dime. So we figure we'll do $1.20 Superfecta. Well, that's not really a box. If you box, it's not ice cold, right?
No, but I think you should do both.
So we're going to do it straight up for a dime, just 10 cents, because we can do one of those a day, and it would only cost us 40 cents a week.
That's right.
That's my kind of betting, Terry, not your kind of betting, right?
That's true, yeah.
For sure.
That's why I'm saying you should box it.
Well, then it'd be $1.20, right?
You would, yeah.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Well, let's get some winners. Last week we had winners, every day except Tuesday, right? I think we hit the Superfecta not the Superfecta, the pick 4, and a nice Superfecta. I think one of the races we had a Superfecta where our top 4 picks paid like $639 for $1. So we had a good week last week. So hopefully we have a good week this week, Terry, to follow that up.
I agree with you. I think we will. I got a good feeling. So
now I have a good feeling too. You know, Terry, I didn't even know this existed. I've heard of dog fighting and cockfighting and stuff like that, roosters fighting, but I never really heard of. Have you ever heard of like a side of horse racing where people are, going to a farm and they're betting on horse racing?
Yeah, I have. I actually in Idaho, when I was younger, like in my teens, I went with my dad to one, and all the fans were betting between each other on the races there. And we were kind of at a disadvantage because most of the horses were local, and all the fans knew them, and we didn't know them at all. There, of course, there's no form. We were just looking at the horse and trying to figure out which one would do the best. So
I guess then you really have to be one of those people that can look at a horse, watch it move, watch how it, it's seen and all those type of things, and look for some indications that it might be injured or that it's healthy. That I've never been to one, Terry. I mean, you've been to every horse track. Now I find out you've even been to illegal horse tracks in Idaho.
Well, let me tell you, here in Eastern Washington, where they're talking about, there used to be a track there that ran one weekend, and I've been to that track. There was actually 3 tracks in that area. And each weekend for 3 weekends in a row, they were legal. They would run. And I've been to all 3 of those 3 weekends in a row. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've never been. I mean, I've been to a couple horse tracks. I haven't been like you. I would be interested to see, for what it's worth, what illegal horse racing looks like. That would be kind of interesting. I know my son plays soccer, and I guess it's a lot like he plays soccer in indoor leagues. And these indoor leagues, they have a lot of betting on the side, and they even pay retired professional players to come in and play on other teams, and it can get pretty wild. I mean, I've seen fights, I've seen all sorts of crazy stuff, but yeah, so I'd imagine it'd be a lot like that.
Yeah, it would be.
It seems to me that trainer Peter Miller, he says he's burned out. He needs a little time off. He's 55 years old, and he says that, he says he loves to train. This is a quote in the San Diego Union Tribune. So I love horse racing and the sport, but I think the industry's a disaster. I love the horses, but the industry's a mess. I'm hoping the federal legislation helps straighten things out. Only time will tell.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But what do you think he feels like it's a mess? You didn't really get into it being a mess.
Well, I know he's had several horses that were hurt or died in the last few months, but I think he feels like a lot of people that there's just no uniformity in the rules or the laws. You go from state to state, racing authority to racing authority. It's always different. So I think that's mostly what he's talking about. And as far as being burned out, he's probably burned out with that. But also, I'm imagining he's burned out from just working for so many years. I mean, I know for myself, in my own business I had for 35 years. At the last 3 or 4 years, I was completely burned out. I was ready to let it go.
You're ready to let it go. I can imagine you put in a lot of hours, a lot of time, and then you have. I personally, I don't know what the legislation is going to do to help him with his burnout. I don't think it's going to do anything. I mean, I think that's like you said, it's a personal thing, right? You just feel worn out, you feel worn down, and at the end of the day, you know, you need a break. I mean, that's what they say, that you know, that taking a break or change is as good as a vacation. So maybe he gets a break, refreshes his enthusiasm for the sport again, it comes back roaring. It's tough to say.
Yeah, I hope he does.
Well, here we have something that's kind of unusual, going back to the George H. Herbert Walker Bush. Read my lips, no new taxes, Terry. In Kentucky, they said that the task force recommends no new taxes on historical horse racing machines. How about that? The first time politicians got together and decided no new taxes. Well, it wouldn't be the first time, but one of the few times.
Yeah, I think they're doing that to protect horse racing in Kentucky. You know, Kentucky's the leader, I feel, in horse racing and promoting it. And I think this is one of their statements not to hurt horse racing. So,
yeah, I agree with you. You know, the way things are going, like in California and New York, where the politicians want to actually take from the horse racing the money that's allocated for horse racing and give it to other whatever projects those particular politicians prefer. They're going to chase horse racing straight out of California and straight out of New York, and it's probably going to end up in Kentucky. And I'd imagine that some of these folks, Terry, see the same things maybe they even watch our show. Yeah. They see some of the same things we see, and you know, they're just getting themselves prepped to invite more horses into Kentucky.
That's
what
right.
do you think? I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I wouldn't either. So.
All right, Terry. So that's enough for Monday news. It's time to get to what they're asking us for. Let's see. What favorite horse race today from Mahoning Valley? We're going to get into that in a couple seconds, by Cole. And then In Upfa wants to know, what are the picks for today, Terry? So let's go ahead and do Terry's best bet of the day. Terry, let me pull that up on my screen real quick, if you don't mind.
Okay.
And then this one's at Remington Park, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
All right. So here's Terry's best bet at Remington, and then we're going to get into a whole bunch of Mahoning races.
Yeah. Well, the last time I did a best bet of the day was Friday. I took the weekend off, and on Friday at Golden Gate Fields. Yeah.
Slacker.
I know. I was really slacking this weekend.
Yeah,
but the last we
were a little burnt out too. We were a little Peter Millard.
Yeah, that's right. I think you're right about that.
Mm-hmm. But at Golden Gate Fields last week on the fifth race, I picked the number 2, a white sports coat. He ran third. And I picked number 3 as my second choice, who won the race, Saratoga Chrome. My third choice, Sunset Dragum, number 4, ran second. So I actually, if you took my 3 horses and boxed them, you would get a Exacta and Trifecta. So it worked out pretty well.
And what did they pay? Did they pay nice?
Yeah, for $1, the Exacta paid $13.30. So it cost you $6 to box the 3. So you would have doubled your money. And then the Trifecta paid $12.90 for 50 cents. So it would have cost you $3 to box the 3 horses. So you would have made $9 on that. That's pretty good.
Not bad. Where else can you do that in 30 seconds, Terry? So what do we got going at Remington Park tonight? Or
okay. It's race number 3. I like number 1, Glimpse of Glory. He's finished in the 100% of the time in the money this year and ran second versus similar in his last race at Remington Park. The shorter distance should improve his chances. Then number 5, Devlin, finished third against similar in his last race, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. He's got a really good trainer-jockey combination who in the last 14 days of 5 mounts has won 2 and ran second twice. And then number 6, Prince Carolina, had lots of trouble in last race and finished a disappointing 10th, but has placed well in the past at today's distance.
A horse for the distance, Terry, right? There's horses for courses and there's horses for distance. I mean, I've been working on trying to find something that rhymes with distance for horses, because you got horses for courses. That's got a nice sound, but I can't quite come up with one for distance. So I have to figure that one out, Terry. So today, our fly for Terry is at the much requested, I guess, Mahoning Valley today, right? So let's get cracking on Mahoning Valley. What do you say?
All right. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's another one of these things where I have to adjust my screens because we did this new ice cold superfecta and I have everything as a little out of order. So I have to put things back in order, Terry. My apologies. Here we go. Race number 6 at Mahoning Valley, Terry, is 1 mile on the main track, Terry. And when you look at 1 mile on the main track, they've run 29 races. And you would think at a track that is a mile, what would you tend to think that would be speed, or would you tend to think it would be a little bit of a stalker's type distance, Terry?
Well, I would think it would be more of a stalker's type distance, but probably ends up being speed.
Well, at Mahoning Valley for 1 mile, they've had 29 races at the current meet, and 22 of them were speed horses. And then you have 12 winners that went wire to wire. So it actually does favor speed, Terry. And interestingly, the inside 3 posts have won a lion's share of the races. And so far, like I said, in 29 races, not a single winner that wore the number 8 or higher. And this is a 10-horse field. So, I mean, I think there was one scratch, though, in this race, or no scratches in this one. No. So, nobody's won from the 8th post and out, Terry. So, it's 1 mile, optional claiming, $25,000. Non-winners of 3, a purse of $33,000. How are you going to start this week's? Well, we got to make 4 in a row, Terry. This week's. How you starting this week's?
I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to start with number 10, Raven Moon. Finished 3rd in the last race and finished in the money 100% of the time in her career. She likes this distance. And the trainer wins 33% of the time when he enters a horse in a route for the first time.
All right. So you like the number 10 horse.
Mm-hmm.
I have the 10 horse in my rankings, Terry, but very much towards the back.
Okay.
I am going to play to this early pace. And, we're in this to what, Terry?
To win, put money in our pockets.
So if you're in it to win and there's a horse named To Win, what do you do?
You finish first with the horse. You put it in there. And it's a good pick because I like it too. Go ahead.
Yes, it's making its second start off the break. And it's dry. So this is one of my favorite, like when you look through the past performance, one of my favorite sets of words together. Highest last rate speed rating. Everybody knows about that. Mm-hmm. And then when you combine that with dropping in class, it's been a very effective way for me to find winners. But here's a horse that's also making its second start off a layoff, which I'm expecting you'll see the horse improve like it did the last time it had a second start off a layoff. So you have 3 things: highest last race speed figure, getting some class relief, and likely to improve. If it just runs the same race it did last time, To Win is the one to win.
Yeah, and I really like the horse too. He's got the she has
I think it's a he, Terry. Yeah, it is a he. I think it's gelded.
Oh, is it?
I'm in race 6. That's okay. It doesn't matter.
I thought these were fillies, but I guess not. Okay. Well, as you said, drops in class, but also has a really good workout. 49.2 breezing, 8th best out of 53. And this jockey, Angel Diaz, in the last 7 days has won 5 out of 15 races. So
unfired. Horse never been out of the money at the distance. Okay. Next pick, Terry.
Okay, number 9.
You're gonna just break all of the rules today.
I am. I'm breaking them. Yes. Indian Fever drop. He drops in class today and is eligible to improve. Second start since layoff. Has early speed running style, which will help the chances, and has the highest speed figure at today's distance. And
are you willing to lock this one, Terry, or not?
I don't. Let me look here.
So a lock is just we both have the opportunity to veto the other guy. And in this particular case, a lock means I'm putting him in. I don't care what Rich says, or I'm putting him in. I don't care what Terry says.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I'm going to lock this one because
he's going to lock him. Yeah, right. I'm a little concerned about this one, Terry, because look at that Mahoning Valley line.
Yeah, I know 6 and only 1/3, but still.
But 5 wins at the distance, so it does have speed. But it has speed and fades. That's not my favorite thing. So you know what the funny thing is? The 9 always beats us. So
yeah,
there you go. All right, so we have room for maybe one more here, Terry. I'm going to go with I wanted to go with the rail horse too, Terry, because the rail horse wins at a pretty high rate here. So do I go with the 1 hand sensation, or do we go with the 5 horse, which is Over Ice? Well, I'm going to go with the 1 horse because the 1 horse is coming off a second time off a layoff, getting the rail. I'm expecting improvement. The last time out, the horse made a big improvement in race 2 to race. Last time out, it ran the same race in race 2 that it did in race 1. The time before that made a major improvement, and that was at Mahoning Valley. So I'm expecting it to improve, and getting the rail, whereas the 5-horse looks a little tired to me. But if there is a scratch, I would consider putting in the 5. Do you agree with the 1 or the 5?
Yeah, I do. The 1 showed really a big improvement. It had been off for a couple of months, and of course, she said got an 87 speed rating, ran second. So yeah, the 1 looks good to me.
All right. So now we're going to move off to race number 7, Terry, because besides the 5, if there are any other scratches or other horses that you would consider?
I'd put the 8, Team Hucky, close to run second. Last race, beat Nonia Neck. Likes the distance, finishing 81% of the time in the money. And she has a decent workout on September 7th of 48-2 breezing.
Race number 7 today, Terry, 6 furlongs. The next 3 races are 6 furlongs, so this works out fairly well. They've had 74 races so far, Terry, at that distance. 54 of them were won by speed horses. 28, Terry, going wire to wire, so you got to be a little bit fast. It looks to me like it's fair for posts 1 through 7, and maybe they don't have a whole lot of races that they go past 7 horses at this distance. Looks to me like the average field size is, just give me a second here, Terry. The average field size is, 10. well, what are you going to do about that? So in any case, Terry, well, no, that can't be right. Well, this is because of the race start. They're talking about this particular race. It's a stakes race, but not 6 furlongs. So outside of the 8 and out have won at a lower price, but they still win. How are you going to? I got a feeling you're going to start outside again. So what are you going to do here?
I am. Number 12, Monday Call. Finished 3rd in his last race and earns the highest last speed rating. She has early speed running style, which helps her chances. And she has the highest speed figure at today's distance and the best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. And she is a horse can either break on top or come from close off the pace.
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to argue with who she lost to last time out. I mean, she lost to Wisconsin and Bell's the One, and those two came back and ran one really well. I think Bell's the One was just the winner of a big stakes race too. So I don't see any problem with that horse at all. The only thing I am a little bit concerned about is that outside you got to get with speed. You got to get to that turn, and there is some speed in front of you, Terry. That's for sure.
That's true.
I had the 5, but the 5 is scratched. I got some shots in this race, Terry. So I'm going to go here with number 6. Ever Wonder. Did you ever wonder, Terry?
Yes, I have. I wonder all the time.
Horse is making its 3rd start off a layoff, tied for the highest last race speed figure. Does have speed, Terry. This is going to be the one that I think will be close to the lead all the way around the track. Has performed really well at the distance, in the money 10 of 12. 3rd time off a layoff. I expect that you're going to see this horse make another step forward like it did in race number 2. So if we can get that, Terry, we can get a nice price on this 6 horse with Ever Wonder.
Yeah, I agree with you there. She's won 2 out of the last 3 races, and she's tied with another horse for the highest last speed rating. So that's actually my 4th pick.
All right. Well, who's your 2nd pick?
Number 10, Victim of Love, has finished 60% of the time in the money during her career, winning 30% of the races. She should improve in the 2nd start since the shorter distance should help her.
This is one I did not have, Terry, but I'm going to trust you here. So let's talk a little bit about construction right now. So we're at, because we can go 4-3-4-4. That's kind of been our normal pattern to keep it under the $100 budget for 50 cents. Which race do you want to do 3 in? I feel like the next race is the one to do 3 in. Or do you feel like this one is?
No. Let's go to the next and see what we can do.
You don't want to add anything here? For me, the next horse on my list is Outside too, which kind of scares me.
Number 11, right?
Number 11, yeah. You want to put him in there?
Sure, let's do that. Let's put number 11 in there.
All right, number 11. Why do you like it? Then I'll tell you why I like it.
I like it because it ran second 3 times in a row, and she's earning one of the highest last speed rating, tied with number
6,
10.
I think. Number 10?
6.
Oh, yeah, one of them.
One of them, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And the trainer wins 26% of the time when he brings a beaten favorite back to the races. He has the highest speed rating. She has the highest speed rating at today's distance.
Yeah, I feel like when you look at this horse, this is one of the reasons why I feel like the 12 might have a little bit of a struggle too, is that when you look at those internal numbers, the early pace, the mid pace numbers, they're very strong, Terry. And you have a really nice workout at Belmont. So I think there's a very good chance the 11 horse is going to be the one that's on the lead at the 4 furlong marker. And then if it can be on the lead at the 4 furlong marker, it could finally break its 0 for at the distance, because it's 0 for 9 at the distance, but 5 of those are seconds. And they're kind of close, so hopefully they can overcome it. If there is a scratch, the horse that I would think about adding in here, Terry, is number 13.
Okay.
Maybe. Is that one that you were looking at too or not?
Yeah, it was my 5th pick. So
yeah. So if there's a scratch, because there can be scratches, right? So let's put the 13 in there. I think I got the colors right on that one. I'm not 100% sure. Race number 8, Terry. This one is again 6 furlongs. I didn't realize that there was a $250,000 stakes race today at Mahoning Valley. This is the Steel Valley Sprint. When I did my work on the weekend getting prepared for this stuff, I did not see the Steel Valley Sprint. It wasn't in there.
Yeah, it's their biggest day. So, the biggest purses of the meet.
So Black Hole's asking us to go back and review Over Ice. What do you think about that horse, Terry? I think that was in race number. Let's see. Was that race number 5? Let's see. Sorry, hold on one second, Terry.
Okay.
It looks to me like it's in the first race number 6, Over Ice. If I remember, it was one of the 2 horse maybe.
Yeah, here it is. It's actually in race number 6.
Number 6, the 5 horse, Over Ice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I wanted to add Over Ice to mine, but the reason I didn't add Over Ice to mine and went with the 1 instead, so I did have Over Ice as one of my top picks. It is dropping in class, but that last race looked like the horse really tired. I know it was on a good surface and not a fast surface.
Yeah.
And it looks to me like when you look at some of the late pace figures, you look at the final time, which was a good final time for the horse, 1:11. But when you look at the fact that it finished 11 lengths off, that moves it up to like 1:13 and 1. So 1:13 and 1 is about the slowest race that this horse has run in the last 10 spots. A lot of times, to me, that's the indication that the horse is tiring. And if you look, I think the horse has run 8 times without a break. So I wouldn't be surprised if the horse runs this race and heads to the sidelines. Although it does look to me like it's getting a weight break, so maybe that helps. But I don't like the fact that it looks like it's tiring to me.
It does have a fairly decent workout on November 17th and has a pretty good jockey, Marshall Medendez, who's won at a 16% clip. So those are a couple of the positive things. It won the race before last at Belterra, but I think maybe it was a little over its head in this last race too. So
probably was, but I just don't like the fact that it ran 1:13. It looks to me like it's. You start to see. I mean, there's a limit to how many races they can run in a row before they get tired.
Yeah,
right. And to me, that's why I do have it ranked as one of my top picks. But when we did this, we had to pick. I had to pick between the 1 and the 5. I decided to go with the 1 horse because it gets the rail that has a 21% winning rate, and it's the fresher horse. So we'll probably get beat by the 5, Terry. That's why it's all our alternative. All right, so let's roll back to race number 8. Okay. The Steel Valley Sprint Stakes for $250,000. Again, 6 furlongs. Favor speed. Most of the time, the horses that win are on the inside 7. I'm going to start, Terry, with the horse that is in the inside 7 before you go way out there.
Okay.
I'm going to go with number 4, Baby Yoda. What do you think about that?
Absolutely love that horse. He's won 3 out of 5 races in the career, finished 3rd in the last race after being bumped pretty bad. And he has the best dirt speed among today's starters. So I think he's going to respond really well and make up for what happened last time. He's got Jose Ortiz, and he's trained by William Mott.
I was going to say our friend Jose Ortiz makes the trip from New York to Ohio. So, I mean, he's got to really like this horse, right?
Yeah.
And then, just speaking of news about Jose Ortiz, I read that he's going to stay at Aqueduct for the winter meet, which is he wants to be by his family. So congratulations for picking family over money, Jose. We all respect that. And hopefully you do very well. But he will be flying off to wherever some big races are in warmer climates if necessary. I like the fact that this horse is making its 3rd start off a layoff, Terry. If you look at its first 3 race cycle, race 1 was a barn burner. Race number 2 kind of slacked off, finished third. Race 3 came back to look more like race 1, but even better. This time around, you see the same pattern. Barn burner in race number 1, kind of slacked a little bit in race number 2. Maybe you see the same thing here in race number 3, like last time, where it ran the top speed figure of the previous 3 race cycles. So I like that horse as my top pick. Who's your next spot?
Okay, number 2, Bryn. This horse just absolutely loves to win. It's won 7 out of 11 races this year. So he's got a bullet work on July 23rd of 46.
A little while ago, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 46.3, but that shows he's got a lot of speed, of course. And his early speed style will help him in this race. So I think he's a good pick.
Well, I was saying earlier, I'm trying to find a way to say horse for the distance. So I have to find a word that rhymes with distance that means horse.
Yep.
And then, but he's run at the distance 5 times, has 4 wins. He's run at other distances 9 times, has 3 wins. So clearly he's a 6 furlong horse, maybe a little bit shorter. He's won over at a mile and at 7 furlongs too. So I do like the fact that, Terry, that this horse last time showed some big improvement in its early pace figures and some significant improvement in its late pace figures. So you see kind of like that Z in the horse race. So you see the horse goes fast, kind of sluts off a little in the middle and goes fast at the end again. Some people call that a Z pattern. Maybe I've misinterpreted what they mean about that, but that's what I call it. So if I call it a Z pattern, by golly, it's a Z pattern, Terry.
Sounds good to me.
I'm going to go right in the middle here, Terry, with Jackson Traveler. Another horse that shows some early speeds coming off the bench, Terry. Last time it came off the bench, raced sharp at about $150,000 non-graded stakes race at Oaklawn Park, which is another track that favors speed, right?
Yep.
So Jackson, as we talked about, Mahoning Valley seems to favor speed at the distance and surface. And if you look at this horse's travels over 6 furlongs, 4 wins, 3 seconds, nothing else. So 7 for 7 in the money, no worse than a second place finish. So for me, the 3 horses, the third pick.
Yeah, and it's my third pick too. It's won 50% of those races that it's been in the money. And he should improve because he's returned it to dirt.
Yeah, the only time he ran off is when he tried other surfaces like turf or all weather. Otherwise, on a fast track, Terry, the horse has 5 wins in 2 seconds, so it does pretty well. That's it for this race, I think, Terry. For me, you want to put something off to the side in case there's a scratch?
I do. I want to put the number 1, which is a big long shot, Kingdom. Likes to run third, though, but the rail post is winning at 18% clip, and he can either run on top or close to the pace to try to win, and his early running speed style will help. So,
for me, if I were going to put another one in there, Terry, it'd be the 7 horse. Real talk. So that horse is another that has a little bit of early pace. So if it gets to the lead, can cause a lot of bit of trouble. And Paco Lopez, he's much better over there at like Parks and Monmouth and stuff, but he's a good jockey that probably doesn't get the publicity that he deserves because he races in smaller tracks and not at the bigger tracks, right?
Yeah, I like it too. I actually had 5 picks in this race, and it was my 4th pick. So,
all right. Well, I feel like though it's the one that we can go the thinnest in because I feel like this next race is pretty wide open too. No,
it is. Yeah.
So the last race, plus I'd like to have a little bit more coverage in the last race in case we get there. Don't you agree or no?
I do. Yes, absolutely.
And when you look at the race number 8, it's a $250,000 non-graded stakes race. Those horses I feel like tend to run a little bit more to form than horses that are running and claiming 4,000 non-winners who won in a year for a purse of $9,900. So I feel like there's a lot more variance or possibilities in those lower price races. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. There's to me, they're harder to handicap because there's so much good, quality horses in there. So any little mistake by any of the horses can help the other horses in the race. So
for sure. So race number 9, Terry, 6 furlongs again. You dropped from $250,000 down to $4,000. So who do you like to start this $4,000 race?
Number 8, Max Revolution. It's been knocking at the door in the last 4 races, finishing 3rd versus similar in the last race. The trainer wins 22% of the time when bringing a beaten favorite back to the races.
Yes, I do agree with you with the 8 horse. I had Max Revolution as my second pick. I didn't show much speed though, Terry. It's one of the reasons why he's my second pick. The horse to its inside, I think we're both going to go with the 7 horse Uncle Momo, right?
Mhm.
Again,
Yeah.
you have the highest last race speed figure combined with the drop in class. One of my favorite sets of words that are back to back. You saw some improvement in race number 3 in terms of its early pace figure, went from an 89 to a 93. I like that. Mid pace figure, so 4 furlongs, went from 86 to 97. That is a sign to me of a horse that's getting stronger. And if you look at both races were at Indiana Grand, both races were at 5.5 furlongs. The final furlong, the final 5.5 furlong time was 104.3 in this most recent race. The one before that, he ran about a 105.3. So he improved his time. So you see the internal fractions improving. You see the internal numbers improving. You see the internal fractions improving, and you see the horse improve its final time by a second from the previous race. That's almost always a sign of a horse that's rounding into good form.
Oh, I agree. It's my second pick. And, he's third in the last race, only missing by a neck. He's actually improved every race for the last 4 races. And, he earned the highest last speed rating. He drops in class today. He has a really good workout the 16th of November, 48 breezing. He was second best out of 8 workouts that day.
All right, Terry. So I like number 2. Are You Talking to Me as my final pick here? So horse is getting some blinkers on today. It does show that it has some early speed. So when a horse does, a lot of times the horses that are distracted, they put blinkers on them. They're not so distracted anymore. I expect this is a horse that's going to get out of the gates and run very fast. Again, I see improvement. When you look at this last race, the early pace figures, the mid pace figures, improvement from the previous race. The late pace kind of tailed off a little bit. But I like the fact that the internal numbers are improving because that's a hint to me that the horse is also improving. I would expect to see a bigger race out of number 2 today than we saw on November the 8th.
Yeah, either you're reading my notes or I'm reading your notes because that's my third pick. And the trainer wins 17% of the time in any of the claiming races that he enters a horse. And like you said, he should improve with the blinkers. And he's got Marshall Mendez, who's winning at a 16% clip at this meet.
All right, we got one more horse to put in here. Terry, who do you want to put in?
Number 6, Fleet Run drops in class today. And the trainer wins 21% of the races when they bring the horse back after a 46 to 90-day break. He likes the track and he likes the distance.
I'm with you on the 6-horse, Terry, for sure. So that's a 20-1 shot too. So I'm kind of hoping that's the one that comes home first. If there's a scratch, Terry, I like the 1. Anybody you like if there's a scratch?
Nope, that's all of my horses. But I would go with the 1. The 1 looks pretty decent.
All right, so there you have it. Race number 6. This is a $96 ticket, if I remember correctly. Race number 6, we have gone with the 1, the 2. Terry likes the outside horses despite the bias, 9 into 10. Race number 7, again, there's a little bit of an inside bias, and we're 3 horses on the outside. So hopefully the 10, 11, or 12 can get to the lead in that 6 furlong race and hang on. Race number 8, we like the 2, the 3, and the 4. We went inside speed bias on that one. And then in race number 9, the 2, 6, 7, and 8. On the right-hand side here, you see our alternatives in case you like some other things or you have deeper pockets. Again, Terry and I like to talk about a pick 4 because it gives us an opportunity to talk about the most horses and put some strategy together in terms of crafting a ticket and selecting horses. But like I talked about on, I think it was Thursday, was it Aqueduct or was it on Churchill on Wednesday? I don't remember. But the very last leg on either Wednesday or Thursday, our 4 horses, like you see here with the 2, 6, 7, and 8 combined for a superfecta that for a dime paid $69, I think, for $1, $690. And then you can do the math for 2, Terry.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So, use them for exactas, trifectas, pick 3s, because a lot of times we miss one, but we hit the other legs as well. Looking for pick 4 winners in a row, Terry. So that would be a whole new definition of fly 4. All right, so this is how Terry and I broke them up ourselves in terms of our hot dog pick 4s. We both spent our maximum $18. And oddly, well, we both agree in race number 6 to go with 3 horses. Terry went with the 2, the 9, and the 10. I went with the 1, the 2, and the 5. So the only horse that we can both win on is that 2 horse, Terry.
That's true. Absolutely. Yeah. It looks, I went with the outside, which is kind of against the grain or what's been happening. But the 2, if the 2 wins, we both go through. If it's not, we got a lot of coverage in that race in our hot dogs.
Race number 7, Terry, we only agree on the 12. So then in race number 8, we both went 2 deep. You went 2-4. I went 3-4. And then in race number 9, we can come home with the 7 or 8. So the only way Terry and I can do a hot dog and fly 4, come home 3-way winners, is to go 2, 12, 4, and then 7 or 8, Terry.
That's right.
All right, so here we're going to try something new, Terry. Today we're going to do, and let me know what you think about this graphic in a second when I get there. We're going to do ice cold super instead of our 3P parlay. If you like the 3P parlay, let us know. But we wanted to try something different. So we went ahead and we talked about it on the weekend, and we figured, you know what? A superfecta only costs a dime, right? So we're just going to do an ice cold dime superfecta. Terry did his at Mahoning Valley, race number 8. Tell us what you got, Terry.
Well, I like the number 1, Baby Yoda, and then number 4, and then I like number 2, Bren, and then I put the number 1, Kit Tomb.
Kill Tomb?
Yeah, is third pick. It's 30-1 in the morning line, and then number 3, Jackson Traveler.
And I went over to Turf Paradise to race number 5. How do you like that image, by the way, with the ice cold superfecta? Do you like that up there?
I do, yeah.
With 3 ice cubes, huh? A little crafty. Not really crafty, but it's really... Anyway, I went with race number 5 at Turf Paradise. That number 9, My Indy, is a best bet for us over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Make sure you head over to the Guaranteed Tip Sheet if you're looking for races beyond or tracks beyond Mahoning Valley and Turf Paradise. Number 5, Audience. Number 3, Doodle Time. Number 1, American Buddha. Those are our top 4 picks over there, Terry.
That's
and today, speaking of Guaranteed Tip Sheet and free picks, Terry, if you head on over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet today, you'll find that Remington Park is our free track of the day. So all you got to do is go over there and register. Let me pull up the tip sheets. You'll see. Hopefully it goes fast because sometimes the site's a little slow. There you go. Remington Park is the free track. And if you click on there, you'll see our picks for Remington Park tonight. Race number 2, Go Daddy Sue, is our top pet and a best bet over there. So Guaranteed Tip Sheet. I think last week on Friday, we ended with the Evangeline Downs as our free track. And I think it paid out over like $6,400 in potential winnings that day, Terry.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it was a great. We had a really good week with the free tracks in terms of what they paid out. So again, just go over there and register the Guaranteed Tip Sheet, and you'll find all of our picks for every track, every race, every day for thoroughbreds and some quarter horses. Any final thoughts, Terry, before we get up and out of here this Monday?
Well, I just want everybody to have a really good Thanksgiving week and stay safe and healthy. If you're going to bet on the horses, win lots. If you're going to bet on the stock market, win a lot there too.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Just have a really great time this week.
Whatever you do with your money, we hope that you took your, like in the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, right? You take your gold coins and you turn them into more gold coins. That's the secret to wealth. Did you ever read that book, Terry?
No, I never have. I should, I guess.
It's a really thin book. It's a parable about how people make money, right? You have a guy who's the richest man in Babylon, and a kid asks him, how do you do it? And so he asks him to do all these chores for him. And then when he asks him what it is, he said, the trick is to have your gold coins make more gold coins. In other words, earn interest on your money, right? Don't just let it sit there. So that's the richest man in Babylon's trick. I just saved you a little bit of money to buy that book.
All right. Thank you.
If you like what you saw today, folks, do us a big favor. Subscribe on YouTube. You can hit the subscribe button down there. Hit the bell when we go live. Follow us on Facebook or like us on Facebook at Racing Radar. Follow us on Twitter at Racing Radar as well. If you like what you saw, Terry, what should they do in terms of letting us know?
Oh, they should give us a thumbs up on Facebook and should retweet us on Twitter. And on YouTube, they should subscribe on YouTube and give us a thumbs up.
Absolutely. You don't have to. Can't tell you what to do. They get mad if we tell you what to do. But if you do, it helps us with their algorithm move higher up and more folks can find us. Another way more folks can find us is if you tell your friends about us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Hey, make a TikTok video for us and we'll show it on the site. Right, Terry?
Right. Yeah.
Make a music video for us. We'll put it on the site. It'll be awesome.
Absolutely.
Let us know. And on Wednesday, Terry and I are going to talk about the things that we are thankful for in horse racing in 2021. If there's anything you're thankful for, just let us know again, as Terry mentioned, on our social sites, or go ahead and email them to me at gtsrichb@gmail.com. Until we meet again, may you stuff your pockets full of cash from the horse racing. And Terry, where do we want all the picks to end up?
In the winner's circle.
Yes. May we see you in the winner's circle and have a fantastic Monday, everybody.